Hey, what's up guys, John Wynn here, and there's been a lot of talk about this Android head unit. It's been growing from a very beta dual-core like state to now in 2018, a very refined octa-core beast. So why has this unit have been getting so much hype? Well, for starters, this unit is rocking an octa-core CPU, so it's quick and snappy. 4 gigs of RAM. They upgraded the audio processing to a 50-watt TDA 7850 and other features that most Android head units have been rocking already, such as the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, the GPS, the DVD, the CD, and again, of course, the HD display. Now that's kind of overkill when it comes to a car head unit, but it works so well from translating from a smartphone tech into a car head unit tech. I say it translates well because this experience is what you kind of expect in 2018. Now, other units from Pioneer, Kenwood, Alpine, they're great companies, don't get me wrong. It's just their design is a little bit dated, kind of old, they kind of rehash things. I'm sure they have great audio, and they do. I used to own one, a few actually, but that's not the whole point of this head unit. All this features, again, the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and so forth, it all costs around $500. Now this is about a price of a mid-range head unit. So is it worth it compared to its counterparts? Let's see. So why are people so interested in this head unit? Well, by design, it's hitting all those things in such a cost-effective package. The GPS, the sound quality, the display, the design, and so forth. Starting out, this head unit jams a lot of features found in smartphones. And because it's really tailored with that kind of high-end spec, it triples down to an Android car head unit like this very well. It has a 10-inch display, IPS, which gives it some great viewing angles, and on top of that, the colors are they pop. It's quite impressive. You know, you can tell by when I move to the camera, the viewing angles the colors don't shift or anything. That's really nice. Do that to your, Pioneer Next 4200, and you're gonna be running into some issues, especially because the resolution on that isn't even HD. Now, styling I really like. It's simplistic, minimal, and look at that. It's just a clean setup overall, with nice chamfered edges, a little silver border right here to just kind of top it off. You really don't have to worry about anything with it clashing with the interior too much. And it actually fits this interior very well, and the great thing about this is even though it's a universal head unit, it actually fits into this car, very nicely. Now there's other Android head units where if you want to get a smaller screen, like a 7-inch, that will fit really snug into here. But with this, you can tell it's an absolute beast. Check out those vents. It does block it. And now you can adjust this thing by tilting it and things like that, and you can kind of shift it forward or back. Of course, it's a universal double din, so you can adjust how the way you want it. Now, with the screen this big, it just reminds me of the Tesla Model 3, Model S, and other really more modern day cars. So if you're looking for something that really revamps your interior, let's say if you have an older car, maybe from 2013, 14, or even in this case, my car is a 2015, and if you want to get that modern interface, check this out. Now, because this is a universal head unit, it does have some trade-offs. Now, when you look back here, let me see if I can pull the screen back. It is plastic. It's not the very nice quality plastic that you expect from more of a higher end like smartphone or anything, but it looks pretty nice on the outer edge. It's just on the inside there's the mechanisms for the pegs and so forth. Now, would you ever be behind, like inside your cluster or looking in that angle? Of course not. You'd be more like right here, and you're never going to be noticing that. But if you do creep around here and get it from this angle and stuff like that, you do start seeing some gaps. Now, that is a bad thing, but you have to understand that there are some certain trade-offs with having a universal head unit. And this is one of the trade-offs that you have to pretty much take. If it's a lot of cars, it has that adjustability in things like the pegs and stuff. You're just going to be running into that. We're talking about features and so forth. Now this unit does come with two USBs that plug into the rear, so you can have two in your glove box, and it also has an extra one that you can hook to your, let's say, center console if your car supports it, which I use a lot. So it has a nice clean setup, so I have my USBs tucked into the glove box and I still retain my USB. Now a lot of people are asking about, what about your backup camera and your steering wheel controls? Those also can be retained. So if you want USBs for your glove box or, you know, under here, you'll still be able to keep them. Steering wheel controls, not a problem. It works, and you can macro to those keys any way you want. So if you want this to be a home button, or this to be a talk button, or this to be volume up, even though it's just called mode, you can make it so you can choose any macro you want, which is nice. You have that customizability. Alright, so let's talk about specs next. So the specs on this machine is actually very good. It's rocking the latest Android version, 8.0 Oreo OS, with a lot of room. This thing has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is kind of overkill for a head unit, but it's there for the snappiness. It also has 32 gigs installed for storage, which is you can expand it to, because it has 2 micro SD slots. On top of that, it has 3 USBs. So if you wanted to put an external hard drive or any like that, remember we were talking about the USBs right there. You can put an external hard drive and expand that kind of power. So you're not gonna ever run into any issues. 2 times the micro SDs, already 32 gigs built in, and then of course flash drive, external hard drives support as well. The processor is a PX5. This is an octa-core and pretty much the go-to. It's clocked at 1.5 gigahertz, and all that clock speed, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Let me just tell you, it's snappy. Now, very snappy. I've been using this for a while and I never had issues like, man, this is slow. Whether you're using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, things go without a hitch. Let me see if, let me plug into Android Auto for you guys real quick. So I have an Android phone right here. This is a Samsung Note 8, and you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with this. Simply plug in your USB and then run the app, and now I can see pretty much what I have on Android Auto. So this is really nice if you like Android Auto, and it's really nice because it has GPS built in and all that jazz right baked into the screen. Now the screen gets very bright, of course, so check that out. Look how smooth that is. It's quick, it's very smooth. You're not going to be running any issues when it comes to performance with this octa-core beast. Now, is it faster than my Note 8? Probably not, but the Note 8 is doing a lot more things when it comes to, you know, data, cellular, and all that. This doesn't really have to worry about that, so it does a great job. It also works with Apple CarPlay, and it works just as great. There's an adapter you have to buy for both, so I'll link right here below. You guys want to buy the adapter. Is it worth it? I mean, do you want CarPlay and Android Auto? It's not a needed feature, but it's definitely nice that you have options. The theme is really nice, and you can choose things that can really tailor to a car experience, like having a really big bar right here specifically tailored for a now playing. In this case, I was watching the new iPhone reveal. And then you also have miles per hour, and you can change this to other parameters too, like a clock or whatever you want. Like, that's pretty sweet, isn't it? Now, what about boot up speeds, right guys? Let me tell you that the boot up speed on these newer Android head units, it's been getting better and better. Pretty much when you do have it off, it puts into a sleep mode. So if you drive your car every day, you're gonna have this kind of boot speed. So I'm gonna turn the car on. boom, it boots up. It's that fast. I haven't drove my car in a few days, 2 days, and it still boots up very fast. Now in the options, you can put your sleep timer to whatever you like. Mine's on auto sleep timer, and it's been a really good treat. I really do. I don't have to wait for it to cold boot. Certain systems like even the OEM one takes a while to get up running. This one, it's so fast, especially because the processor is definitely faster than any head unit brand like the OEM ones from Subaru. I can give you a fact for that. Those things are slow. But let's say if you do cold boot it, which is basically a cold boot is when you have the car, like let's say you unplug the battery and then replug the battery. I get boot times about 13 seconds, which is actually very respectable. Another controversial topic now is probably sound. Now, how does it sound? With these units right here, they actually have an upgraded sound. It's called it's 50 watt TDA 7850s. Every generation, I noticed that they've been putting better and better internal amps. Now, I also have an extra amp into my system. Check it out. So I already have some really nice speakers on this, and it is compatible with my aftermarket, or not aftermarket, but my OEM factory installed amp. Wow, that's bright. Another thing, because we're on the topic of bright, if you have your car's headlights on, it does have dimming capability. So watch happens when I turn on my car headlights. So the whole screen dimmed right there, and it also has its LEDs right here. Now, some units, these are RGB, but in this case, it's just blue. So yeah, the audio quality is superb with my upgraded speakers and OEM amp. I have no complaints to the audio, no weird hissing noise or anything that's weird, no anomalies. To be honest, when I first got this head unit, I was ready not to be impressed by it, but I really like it, more than I thought I would. Believe the hype. I feel like Dasaita struck a good balance between what the customer wants and the value. And this is one of my favorite head units of this year. Let me know you guys have any questions below. Thank you guys for watching. And if you guys want to see something specifically, hit me up in the comments. I'll go check it out. Peace out, guys.